Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome everybody to the European Wrestling Podcast. I'm back, 2021, and wow, what a guest! My guest is Daniele D3, so welcome to the podcast. How you doing today, man?
Thank you, Luca. Thank you for inviting me here in this podcast, and hi to everybody that listen this podcast and watch us.
So obviously, when two guys that speaks Italian, they speak English each other, it's a little bit awkward at the beginning. But of course, I'm from Switzerland, Lugano. I speak Italian. You're from Rome and you speak Italian. But as I said many times, the idea of the European Wrestling Podcast is to speak in English, so we can reach as many people as possible. And also, you have now many fans in the United States and beside Europe, so it makes more sense in English. So I would like to go over your entire life today. So let's start. How was growing up in Rome, and a little bit of before wrestling. Who's Daniele before becoming D3?
Grow up in Rome is amazing. It was amazing because it's a unique city. But when you're a kid, you don't realize that Rome is that unique. Yeah, you see a lot of beautiful things, but when you're a kid, you think that everybody have it, the same thing. And it's not like that. When you grow up, you start to understand that Rome is really unique. Before I fell in love with wrestling, I'm still really a soccer fan, a huge soccer fan. And so I used to play soccer. I started like at 6 years old, and then till 14, 15 years old. And yeah, that was my big passion. Watch a lot of games with my father, of course, the Rome team. And we went to the stadium so many times, and that soccer in our country, in Italy, is like a religion. That's what I try to explain. And you listen radios and TV shows talking about soccer all the time. And that was my whole life pretty much. And yeah, I grew up like that. And then I discovered wrestling when I was 11 years old. But I'm still in between of, wrestling is now it's my job, but it was my passion. But at the same time, I'm still watching soccer. I'm still follow every single games when I can and stuff like that, because it's the first love, and you never forget your first love, pretty much.
So everybody have a specific, not everybody, but most of the guys have a specific memory when they first fell in love with wrestling. What's your memory like? Do you have any specific moment, like maybe you were doing something and then, whoa, what is this on TV? And then, oh, it's wrestling. And then, any specific memory? Or maybe, actually, I should ask you, the memory of the first time you heard about wrestling and the memory when you actually fell in love with wrestling. That could be two separate things.
Okay, the first time I watched wrestling, I don't have a specific match that I remember, but the first time that I remember that I watched wrestling, it was around 2011, 2012, and I remember like Sunday morning, we used to have Velocity on Italia Uno, so it's a channel, it's a sixth channel. Yeah, TV channel in Italy, and that was my first time that I watched wrestling, and I probably fell in love with Eddie Guerrero, so it was SmackDown, so Rey Mysterio, Ultimo Dragon, and I don't know, the entrance and what they did in the ring, it was so special. It was so, I don't know, it was so different than everything, and maybe that's why, but I don't remember like a specific moment that why I love wrestling that much. I always explain this example to the people. For me, wrestling is like the true love. So yes, you know why you love someone, but at the end of the day, you don't know very well. You just feel that you can stay without. So, and that's the same feeling that I have with wrestling. It was always like that. I can tell you like 1,000 things that's why I love wrestling, but at the end of the day, I feeling like the butterfly on my stomach every time I do that. So that's why it's my true love. That's the only thing that I always explain to people. Same when you have a relationship or something like that you feel that you can stay without the person. Is for me, it was the same since the day one.
Yeah, back in those years, for those watching around the world, you need to understand that in Italy in 2004, those kind of year, wrestling was like over as fuck. Like there was, I mean, wrestling was everywhere. There was a lot of merchandising,
Shoes, everything. Yes, I remember
yeah,
that.
magazine. Like it was, of course, in the. I have some memory of the end of the 80s, early 90s, but for me it was mid 90s was the same thing as you in the mid 2000s, because in the mid 90s they did the same thing in 1994, same channel, Italia Uno, so it was whoa, everybody were
It was WCW, right? Maybe.
no, that was
WWF.
WWE, yeah, WWF Superstars.
Okay, got it,
So
got it,
they
got
were
it.
like, whoa, super, like everybody were loving wrestling, and then it disappeared for a while, and then it came back big time.
Back.
It came back big time in the mid 2000, and those characters, as you said, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, were great. And this is what is great about pro wrestling, because they had a roster in those years. SmackDown had a roster that each and every one of the superstar can reach somebody. Like Rey Mysterio was the one that you can relate with, like you can feel his passion, you care about this guy. And Rey Mysterio was the guy, entertainment, flipping around. And then there was who else, there was many that
Oh yeah, it was
different.
Big Show,
Big Show.
RVD, even Brock Lesnar. It was
Yeah, yeah,
It was impressive to see it. And who else? Kurt Angle. I think that age wrestling became that famous in our country too. First of all, because it was in a public TV, so it was not private channel, nothing like that. It was not a cable TV. That's
yeah.
how they say. It was not a cable TV. It was public, so of course help because everybody can watch. And second, because the charisma that they used to have it at that age, even the mid Carter, everybody were so damn good.
The show was
And
great. I mean, I remember the pyro
yeah,
and everything. Like SmackDown was like legitimately like the best show on planet Earth if you were a kid, or if you, like for me, even if you're 20 years old, whatever. But it was so huge, and it was boom, like every Saturday was. It was great. So as we said, you fell in love with wrestling, and so at some point you made a decision. Okay, I want to do that. How am I gonna do that? so
so that's funny. When I was at school, when you have that kind of homework what you want to be one day, and I always wrote I want to become a pro wrestler, but for us it was like become an astronaut. So it's something like not impossible, but really far from our culture and our world. But then when I was 16 years old and 17, um, I was searching on the computer, wrestling academy in Rome, just like that, and and appear like a website with Rome Wrestling Academy open soon in September, so the next month. And I say yes, let me
let's
text
do
email
it.
this guy. Let me email this guy. This guy answered me back, and he said like I don't know September 22nd. It was a day like that. We will open in this place an academy just with a ring and so it was not a wrestling ring into a gym. It was a place just for wrestling. So it's like a PC, it's like a performance center, but of course different, like
Yeah.
small, cheaper. Let me say that, cheaper than the performance center. But the structures, the idea, it was the same. So, and that helped me so much. So I texted this guy, he emailed back, and the first day that they opened, I was there, and I understood immediately that because I used to play a lot of soccer, and I was good with athletic stuff. That's help you when you have like athletic background and help you to learn easily. I don't want to say easy because it's never easy, but easily than if you don't never do
Yeah, you have a
anything.
sport background.
Yeah, that's why when you play like soccer, I used to do kickboxing for a few months, and so I was already good with athletic background, and that helped me a lot. And maybe I was good even with the entertainment too, because when you go to school, you do a lot of theater stuff at the end of the year. You do that stuff at the school a lot of years, and I did a lot of that too. And I was always the staring on my class and on the school, so it, of course help you to to don't be shy and be in front of the crowd of camera and stuff like that. So of course helped me a little bit. And nothing. That's how I started. And another thing that helped me a lot, that because this owner, so Pierpaolo Pollina, uh, his ring name was Italian Gladiator, and another trainer was Axel Fury. Uh, this place was open every day, so from 4 to 9 p.m. you were able to go there and train. So it was not like 2 times a week or something like that. He has the keys, and if you call him, you want to go there, you can go there and train with them.
That's
So
awesome.
that helped me. That's helped me a lot, because so in the morning I went to school, and then straight to the training every single day, Monday to Friday, and sometimes we used to do seminars and stage, and then after I debut.
Did you add a ring to train with?
Yeah. The ring
So
was
let me clarify
big.
something, because I mean in United States it's pretty obvious that you're gonna have a ring, but in Europe is not. Like especially back in those days, we're talking about 2008 here.
Yep.
Most of the training facility, let's call it this way, most of the wrestling academy in Europe, they did not have a ring, like because it's really expensive to buy a ring, it's really expensive to rent a place where you can set up the ring and leave it there. So it's already special for you to train with a ring. Like you were very lucky to be able to train in a ring, uh, you know uh, in your country, because in Italy back in 2008, you know better than me, uh, 90% of the
It
guys
was
were training with math because there
with
wasn't.
tatami, yeah, with
Yeah,
Matt, yeah. And let me tell you something, if I'm not wrong, uh, that place, it was the first place in Europe with the ring,
could
and
be.
it was not. It was his own place, so it just was a place for wrestling. Even in England or other parts, maybe they had a ring, but it was into the gym or something like that. That was just a place for wrestling. It was huge, 800 meters.
Yeah.
It was really pretty huge place. It was an academy, so he ran the place, and that's helped me a lot, because when you go there, you immediately understand the lifestyle of the pro wrestling, and you put yourself already into that shoes. It was not something that you go there like for hours and a half. I heard sometimes now people train like 3 times a week, hours and a half. It's not enough. And most when you start, it's even harder. And I was super lucky with that, because 4 or 5 hours a day, every single day, with people that used to go in the United States or other part of Europe, it definitely helped me to grow up in this business.
Awesome, awesome. And yeah, just to clarify something for our audience from the United States, when we talk about Europe, there's always a big difference between the Central Europe and UK, because UK, when it comes about wrestling, is like another planet. So you always have to clarify when you're talking about Central Europe, like Italy, Germany, French,
Sure.
those kind of country, or UK, because UK is completely different. In UK, professional wrestling is part of the culture. It's much way easy to promote wrestling, being a wrestler. So Europe is not like UK. UK is like UK. By the rest of the Europe, it's really hard to promote wrestling, and especially back in those years, 2008, to become a wrestler was Very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard. So let's move on. So at some point, well, you were training. At some point, I guess you had your first match. How was it? What's your memory about your first match?
Uh, okay, it was in August 2009, and I remember I was not nervous at all because I trained that much every single day that I was sure that was gonna be a good match. So it was in Rome. It was a lot of. So we used to do every summer an event. They call it Mondo Fitness, so a fitness word, and it's a lot of people go there and watch every single sports. And every hours we have different events from every single sports. And so we did a wrestling show, and I was the opening. That helped me too, because you don't have any match before, and you open the show. And no, yeah, that's of course I was focused on my match and I trained that match for all the week, but I was not nervous at all. I was ready to work. Maybe because I wait like a month more to make sure that I was ready 100%.
So you knew you got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of people wanna rush it into it, wanna debut immediately, and I wait. My trainer tell like, trust me, just wait another month, and it will be perfect. So you will not have any hesitation or nothing like that. He has right. It was true, and I was sure 100%. And when you see that kind of crowd, that kind of feeling, of course, help you because the first match, it helped you a lot to put like I don't know 10% more of you.
Awesome. So, guys, we're gonna take a short break here, and we'll be back very soon. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned and follow us on our website prowrestling.ch for all the news and updates. Pro Wrestling Live Events is also on social media. We are on Instagram and Facebook. By following us and sharing our videos, you can help us to grow. Thank you.
Welcome back to the European Wrestling Podcast. My guest today is Dietrich from Rome, and so we were talking about the first match, and the first match is always something that you have that memory forever in your mind. Especially my memory is that back then I thought, okay, I know wrestling, I know how to wrestler, but that's a very big mistake that everybody make because no. you think you know things, but that's just your first match, and at least in my case, at least I had a good Canadian background because I got trained in Canada, so I was able, even if the storytelling was not there, at least I didn't embarrass myself because I knew how to wrestle. And the same thing is for you because you got trained by good people at the beginning of your career. And so thanks to that, your first match probably wasn't WrestleMania match, but certainly
No, no, at all.
certainly you did not embarrass it yourself.
No, it was a really good opening, if I have to be honest. Not because it's my match, but because they trained me that well. And I remember that my trainers, they were so picky with psychology and everything. So I still remember all my first match, even now. I can repeat right now the same match. It was a really good opening, even because I have eye flying stuff. I don't do a lot of eye flying, but people think consider me eye flyer, but I'm not that much. But I did a lot of flying from the top rope and even a dive outside as an opening. So it was good to see it for a crowd. And in Italy they're not uh, a great, they're wrestling fans, but they don't know wrestling that well. It's different. You do a debut in Italy, and if you do a debut in, I don't know, in England or United States, Mexico, they have more culture about, so they criticize more, even if you made a mistake or certain mistakes. In Italy, if you work with the crowd and you know how to do certain kind of stuff, athletic stuff, they love that.
I agree, but I also have to say that I remember back in those days, a lot of guys in Italy they were saying, "Well, people don't understand wrestling here. That's why they only clap for the moves, blah blah blah." But that's a kind of an excuse because it's your job as a wrestler to make them understand what you're doing. And if they don't understand, that means that you're not doing your job well. So it doesn't matter how many flips you do or whatever you do, but you need okay, I'm in front of a crowd that is not they don't know wrestling as in the United States or UK. So it's my job to make them understand. So I'm gonna tell a kind of story that they can understand. I'm gonna avoid anything that is too complicated, and just simple match, one-on-one, with no crazy spot, no crazy shit. And that's how it's up to you to train them as a crowd to understand wrestling. So it's your job to do it.
Sometimes it's even harder because they're not it's not a part of our culture. A lot of people just wait for the first mistake to say, oh, this is fake, this is bullshit, or stuff like that. So you have to be that picky in every single thing that you do, because fans, they don't have wrestling cultures, and they don't know very well what wrestling it is. Now a little bit more, but back in the days, definitely not that much. And that's why I remember, I don't know if they say that in English, is a prejudge. So a lot of people have
Well,
you know,
yeah.
I don't know how they say, but they have a judge before they see something, and in Italy it's like this. So it happens so many times, even on the TV when I did Italians Got Talent and stuff like that. That before they even see my match, they already say like, maybe I don't like it. So the pressure is so high because you have to prove them wrong. It's really hard sometimes.
Yeah, because they judge the book from the cover, and they don't.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
They don't. Yeah, but through the years, I gotta say that I remember wrestling in Italy back in the days, in those days, 2008, and how is now. Now is much better because there's,
oh yeah,
a lot of guys got trained by good wrestlers or good academy or whatever. So it's much better now. So let's move on. So you have been wrestling, I guess, a couple of years, or maybe more, in Italy before going to the States. So how was your first run in here in Italy? Like any specific memory of some crazy matches, or just a little bit of your career in those I think 5 years, no, 5 years.
Before. Yeah, for 4 years before I moved to the States. And yeah, in 4 years I did a lot of stuff, because immediately we started working for a national TV with a wrestling show, and then so I was lucky. I don't want to say lucky, but in life you have to be at the right place at the right time sometime. And of course you heard that kind of spot, but at the same time, I worked for the TV. The TV signed a deal with our promotion, so we started making a season with the certain TV shows, and then from that TV show, another big promotion like NWE called me for working with them in a tour. So definitely I was lucky, because NWE was a huge promotion, maybe like AEW now, but in Europe.
Yeah.
They used to call people. Yeah, it was huge.
Let me explain that for the people watching from around the world. That company, NWE, is the NWE, right? The name? Yeah.
Yeah. New Wrestling Evolution.
Exactly. So Rikishi was involved with that, and they were, at that year where wrestling was very, very over in Italy, they were able to put together a show with huge stars. I mean, like they brought people from the States, like I said, Rikishi, and I think former WCW guys, and also in addition of that, they had a huge setup, like nice ring, lights, music, everything looks legit. I mean, they were as close as you can get to WWE, and so back then, everybody wanted to see wrestling. There has been people with zero knowledge doing show with 4,000 people. So, but the new wrestling, they had knowledge because like I said, Rikishi was involved with that, and so they had money behind it, and it was huge. And to be there as a wrestler, it was like like the best in Europe back then. That was the top of the top. Like
The good idea was to mix former WWE or people that had names already with young talent. So I remember the roster was huge. It was Gangrel, RVD, Ultimo Dragon, Rikishi, Vampiro, people like that. Juventud Guerrera. Big names like this with young talent. I was there, and Mark Andrews was there.
Yeah.
He's in the WWE now. Jody Flash. So people with a lot of experience and young talent, this kind of mix create a great shows, a great promotion. And I remember like in all the arena that they went, it was like, I don't know, 5,000, 10,000 people, with a ticket. And it was not in a plaza, but, with the pay ticket and in the arena. So with the Titantron fireworks. So it was really like a great promotion. And this kind of experience I used to have it like 21, 22 years old. After 2 years of wrestling or 3 years of wrestling helped me a lot to understand even more this business, because you spend pretty much every day in a hotel traveling and the show at the arena with former WWE superstars or people from Japan or Mexico, and so helped me a lot. At the same time, I trained with Supernova, so it was a Mexican luchador. He was a son of El Tejano. He has a big brother too. Is El Tejano Jr. And so train with these people, plus working in this kind of big shows. I went to England too and working with IPW UK. So all this kind of experience helped me to form my skills to evolve who I was. And yeah. I did TV shows like Italia's Got Talent, other European Pro Wrestling, EPW was on Sky, GXT, all these experiences. So helped me to evolve my skills pretty much.
Well, your basis, like you got trained with good people. You also had the chance to be next to those guys. Like, I mean, when you have that kind of roster, you learn just by sitting next to them, doing nothing, just listening all day,
Yeah.
traveling with them. You learn every single day. So you were lucky in that way, yeah, because you got so much talent around you in the early stage of your career that made your basic very, very solid, and that's why you are where you are now.
What I really appreciate about these people, they never treat me like, a kid from Italy. A lot of people like Jody Flash and Supernova, Vampiro, they saw potential in me. And even if I didn't have the same experience that they have, but they see potential, talent, and they really helped me a lot. And so I was talking to them every single day and listening to them. And I appreciate that, because so many people that are stars or have names, maybe if they go to certain countries that don't have any culture about wrestling, I don't want to say they treat bad, no, but they don't waste their times or their knowledge with everybody.
Yeah.
They invest their words and their knowledge just with certain people. I remember that, and I asked him like, why you just say certain things to me and not to everybody? Because they saw maybe something in me that I was really in love with wrestling, and I was curious, and I want to become a pro wrestlers for real, or traveling outside. So that helped me a lot too. And yeah, and even the TV, when I was surrendered with a TV from maybe immediately after a few months of my debut, we did already TV shows. So when you see cameras around, you already start to understand how you have to work in front of the camera, speaking of promos or stuff like that, and help you too to cut certain steps. Because think about if you debut but just live shows is different than debut immediately that you have to plan a TV shows. You have a program for seasons and stuff like that.
So that was definitely great. And so at some point you made a decision, like the biggest decision of your life. You decided to leave everything behind you. You said goodbye family, goodbye friends, goodbye Rome. I'm packaged my stuff and I'm going to the States. Well, actually, you went to the States back and forward a couple of times before, and then at some point you decided to to go there. So how explain to me this relationship with the United States. How did you get there first? How, and all the process to make the final decision to move to United States.
So in 2013, beginning of 2013 till September, I was working with NWE, with these people in a tour, and I spoke with few of them, and they told me like, you ready to move forward? And of course, it was always my plan, but I was waiting the right time, and I was around 22, so I said like, yeah, maybe I'm in the right age, but I didn't know anybody pretty much from there, or I didn't have any ideas. So I was looking for what was the best place to go, pretty much, and I picked House of Hardcore. I sent an email to them, and they answered me back. In New York, it was in New York with Tommy Dreamer, and they answered me back, and they said, whenever you want, we're open, so you can come here. So after that, I called my brother and said, like, let me buy a ticket immediately, and I go there. And I bought the ticket. It was September 11th, so even a weird date. Definitely to buy a ticket, a plan to United States, to New York. It was a good coincidence, but it was a good luck in my opinion. And I went there, and I spent 19 days, so 3 months over there. And after the first day, so the first training, you do like a tryout training, and if they see what kind of level you have, if you like advanced or beginners, stuff like that, Tommy Dreamer stopped me and tell me like, you have a great talent, you definitely more than advanced, you don't have to pay, and are you able to work for shows? I said, I'm here for that,
Of course.
Whenever you want, I'm here every day, pretty much. And so he booked me for a certain promotion in New York City, and that was my first match in the States. So it was October 12th of 2013. It was the discover of the United States with Cristoforo Colombo, with Colón. So it was even coincidence, a lot of coincidence in my career. And yes, I did a moonsault outside. It was beautiful because the wrestling fans, they know wrestling. Most of New York, certain cities, they know wrestling very well. They appreciate a lot of stuff. They used to chant like, holy shit, that kind of chanting. And yeah, it was beautiful. So, but the problem was that you have to, you need a specific visa to stay there, to be a resident. So before you have that visa, you have to come back in your country, renew your visa, and then travel back. That's why the first 2 years, from 2013 to 15, I did back and forth, even because I have shows in Europe too. Yeah. And I did movies in Europe too. So I work in the States for 3 months, shows with Tommy Dreamers and other promotions, and then travel back, did movies. It was a cinema movies in our country, and then travel back again. So that was the first 2 years. And then from 2015, after that, I said like, if I did that good in 2 years and then I don't even leave there all the time, think what I can do if I go there 365 a year. So that's every day pretty much. And maybe now I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking that I had right because I'm still right here, and I'm still do what I love, and it becomes my job, and working, make a name for myself, and working with certain big promotions, and definitely it worth.
That's awesome. So you made a good decision, and it takes a lot to make that decision. Especially in certain country like Italy, and especially in Switzerland, I tell you that it's really hard for us sometimes to move out of your country, because I don't know, it's part of, especially I'm talking for Switzerland. I guess Italy is pretty much the same. In Switzerland, for us, this is really hard to move, and like Cesaro did it, but it's a kind of exception, because a lot of guys in Switzerland, we have these things that we are kind of afraid to take too many steps forward, and that's why we are the most the country with the most insurance, because we always want to have everything under control, but you can't. So when you take a decision like that, you know that you know what you leave behind you, but you don't know what's next in your life. But you need to take a step in order to make it in professional wrestling at that, at your level, definitely.
Let me tell you, usually, even in it works like that. If you was born in Rome, usually you don't move. So I don't know, because it's that kind. We're so proud to be Romans, and the city's so amazing. You have pretty much everything, so you don't need to move, except if you do wrestling. That's the point. But my personality was different. I never, waste too much time of thinking of, oh, I have to move or not. I told you, after he said, like, you're welcoming, you can come here, whatever you want, I call it an above ticket. I was always like that. I'm still like that. I'm really an instinct person, pretty much. I do what I feel. So it was not that hard for me to left my city, my country, my friends. Of course, you miss these people, and I miss everything. I miss Rome every single day. But when you have a passion and you feel inside that it's something that makes you happy, sometimes you have to sacrifice stuff. And maybe you sacrifice happiness in a private life, but to be happy in your career. And that was my decision. But I never spent too much time of thinking, oh, should I have to do it or not? I said, like, no, I have to. Because I remember that, I felt myself a fish out of the water, or maybe a fish too big for that kind of aquarium. It's that kind of example. I don't want to push myself, but that's what I remember, that I felt like that a lot. And I know a lot of people, because I'm talking a lot with Italian fans. I try to stay close and try to help these people and try to be, I don't want to say an example, but
But you are.
I understand. Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want to, let they say that. I don't want to say by myself. But really, I came from nothing. My father was not a pro wrestler. We didn't have pretty much everything. So everything that I did, it was really like, so I explained to the fans, even the people that text me, how can I start it? I was like you. And I did it. So you can do it too. And a lot of people is frustrated because they would like to go out, and I said, like, I understand it. I felt in the same way, but I never waste my time of thinking, should I have to move it? I bought a ticket, I go there. I didn't have even a house. And my brother told me, just go there and speaking with people, and you will find an apartment. So I used to have an hotel for 1 week. I say to myself, if in 1 week I don't find a house, I go back. I found a house the first day. So see, when you want something, you can achieve. Of course, you have to sacrifice other stuff. That's life. But yeah.
That's awesome. So we're gonna take the second break here, and we will be back very soon. Thanks, everybody. Keep Welcome back, everybody, to the European Wrestling Podcast. I would like to remind you that all the other episodes from 2019 and 2020 are available on my YouTube channel, of course, Belthazar, also Belthazar.com. You can find all the episodes with the past guests. Today, I'm here with Daniele, D3 from Rome. He's now living in Florida. And so let's go back and talking about your career in the United States from the beginning of your career in the States to where you are now, which is working time to time with the All Elite Wrestling.
So after I moved to the States, I started working with indies, so independent promotion all around. First of all around the Northeast, And then they started booking me Southwest too, so around, Tennessee or Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, so the South. And it happened a chance that I was booked for in Orlando, Florida with AFA, Hanoi, with this promotion, WXW. And so I went down and I liked the city. I saw there was time for me to improve my skills with different people, different promotion, learning new stuff or making new connections and stuff like that. So after they booked me that, I came back home in New York and I said to my wife, next show you will come with me, and if you like the city too, we move down. And she said like, okay, and she trusts me. and she loved the city too, because Orlando is a really good city, even to raise a family, or the lifestyle is really good. The weather is no snow. I remember the beginnings. I didn't have a car in New York, so the first years I didn't have a car, and I was walking into the winter with the snow for everything. So go to the supermarket with no cars, and miles to go for trainings, the gym. So it's really hard when you stay by yourself, Christmas by yourself. It's really hard. And so that's why moving Orlando is definitely a little bit easier or better than New York, because the weather is help you too at the same time. And yeah, so we moved down October 2017. So I start working down here with different promotions, make a different connection. And then unfortunately in 18, I broke my ACL and meniscus. So I did a surgery and then came back after 6 months of surgery.
Did you have the surgery in the States, or did you come
No.
back to Italy?
No, I did a surgery in Rome because I know a doctor. This Mariani is a famous doctor, a surgeon in Rome. He makes surgeries of soccer players, famous soccer players. So he knows how to manage athletes. So that's why I went there, and then I did the first part of the rehab in Rome, and then the second part of rehab in the States. And then after that, I came back working even better, evolved my gimmick, my characters, and everything. That's another advice that I want to give to people when you're not able, even now with the lockdown, where you're not able to work in the ring. Is a lot of things in wrestling that you can work without a ring. Is the gimmick, the merchandise, the website, your image, interview, social media. Is a lot of stuff that you don't need the ring. So you have to take an advantage even on the bad moments in these careers. So during my process of the surgery and all these things, I invest on my new gear, evolve my characters in the Prince of Rome, and open the website, did the merchandise, new merch, stuff like that. And I did a documentary of my rehab process. So from the surgery and all the rehab. So this, that's another positive mind that you have to have in this business, because injuries is a part of this job.
Let me just stop you just for a question. Where is available that documentary? Is it available
on my YouTube? Prince of Rome D3 is my YouTube channel, and if you tape D3's Redemption,
okay,
you'll be able to watch all the documentary. So from the the clinic over there, all the surgery with the scars and all the rehab process, an interview before the surgery and after the surgery, and all the process is really, it makes you understand the human being behind the characters or the gimmicks sometimes. That's why I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff on my channel. You can see behind the scene from different shows. So a road to, I don't know, if I'm booked to Alabama or a certain place, I do behind the scene how the lifestyles of pro wrestlers works, because a lot of people, they don't know that we wake up that early, you travel that much, you pretty much a pro wrestler 24/7. You sacrifice all your life, all your families, and a lot of people, they just see the show and the lights on you, and they don't see what's going on behind. And I think in our country, a lot of people have to know that, and helps to understand better the cultures of the pro wrestling. That's the only way that the wrestling can grow up in our country.
So for everybody watching, of course, belong here, you will find all the links to the D3 channel, D3 Facebook, everything, and I will make sure to have this video link as well, of course. And so let's move on a little bit. And so you were working for different promotion. You moved to Orlando. You finally had a car, and you must have a car in Orlando.
Yes.
Because I've been there.
Yeah, no,
I've been there for a while, and you know, there is no public transportation in Orlando. Like they don't even know what is a bus or a train. So you must have a car, otherwise you're fucked up there.
They have it, but
yeah, it's just one line that goes north south. That's it.
no, you can waste like 3 or 4 hours just to go in a place that you can go in 20 minutes with a car, and so it's no way. No, I used to have a car even in New York, but you know, it's just the beginning. The first 2 years I didn't have a car, and then after I moved permanent in the States, in New York first, in Orlando, I always had a car.
Well,
because it's impossible.
For me,
if you have to travel, you have to.
For me, it was a little bit of shock, because I went from Toronto, which is the city with the most public transportation in the world, to Orlando, which is the worst place in the world when it comes about public transportation. It was like, what the fuck? It's so different. But you know, Florida was great for me as well, and you know, I had great memories, and I had a great experience there as well.
You know how it works in Europe. Even the trains and the flights are different. We use a lot more the trains and the flights than a car. Here, the Americans, they love more to drive their cars than take trains. So maybe that's why.
Also because the gas it costs 1/4 than here.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
4 times
the gas
less.
is definitely cheaper. Yep. So and then after the rehab, I back to work with indies. Even they put me even more because I evolve my characters and I invest in all these things that I said before, and then happened the opportunity in 2019, working with WWE. So Alpha said that they were booked me for Raw and SmackDown in Miami and Tampa. And I said, yeah, of course I go. They sent me an email, you know, the process that you have to do it, all the medical stuff that you have to pass and all these things. And I went there, and it was July 22nd of 2019. And I remember that date because it's the date that the Rome team, the soccer team, would found it. So that's why I remember that. So it's the same date. Yeah, it's the anniversary of the foundation of Rome, pretty much, of the Rome, but the soccer one, not the city one. So it was even another coincidence in my life. And I work Monday Night Raw with Strowman, so it was fun. You know, it's 2 minutes, it doesn't matter, but you know, it's a good opportunity that they give you, and even to be the first male Italian working for WWE on Monday Night Raw, that was even another stuff that make you proud, that make your country proud, because every time you do something for a certain promotion, something big like that, newspapers in our country talking about that, TVs, and a lot of fans, you do a lot of interviews and stuff like that, because you never have anybody. And so I did 3 matches in 2019 with WWE, 2 on Monday Night Raw, 1 on NXT, and then in 2020s, back working with the indies, and then in August, the AEW star called me to work with them.
Okay, let me just ask you something about WWE, because I guess, you know, I can imagine the pressure that you have on your shoulder. I mean, of course, you know you can do it, otherwise they won't call you. But at the same time, it's fucking live. I mean, it's WWE and it's live. And even if it's just 2 minutes, it's like you know that's gonna be, at least for a while, you know, the most important 2 minutes beside when your daughter was born, the most 2 important minutes of your life. So how was, you know, the backstory, you know, to get there, to get to the arena, to talk to the agent, to, you know, go over the match, you actually get into the arena, I mean into the stage, gorilla position, everything. Just tell me how was all the process to finally get that over that.
So of course, in this case, I was nervous for many reasons. Usually, everybody are nervous when they go and they start working the first time for WWE, of course. In my case, even more because I knew it that I was the first Italian. I knew it that the day after they will start talking, D3 was there, blah, 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 in newspapers and stuff like that. So I was really nervous for that reason. Because I want to make my country proud, my people proud. I don't want to do bad performance, and because it's the first Italian, so I have to do it in the right way. So I was nervous, but then in the backstage, I spoke with few people, and even Rey Mysterio helped me in the backstage. I asked him advice, and I have this kind of match. What's the best way, to take a benefit from this match, or what I have to do, what they expected from me and stuff like this, and he helped me a lot. So, and then I remember I was in a gorilla position in Tampa, and I was very nervous. I want to go to the bathroom and pee for a second, but
Yeah.
I didn't have time. That usually when you feel that is anxiety, when you want to go to the bathroom and pee is anxiety. So see, even I explain this to people like, guys, even I'm always afraid. If you're not afraid, it means that you don't care about stuff. And I was afraid, but then I started thinking like, I train all my life
To be here.
and to be here, and then I know that I'm good. So if that's what I want to do this for my life, so I don't have to be nervous. They don't do nothing that I don't do every single day. I know how to take bumps, how to do stuff. For me, it's like a drink of coffee, so it's no reason. So I spoke with myself. There's no reason to be nervous because you earned that spot. So you sacrifice everything, your family, your life, and all this sacrifice that I made and other people made it for me, I have to make it worth. So I can't failure because a lot of people believe in me and I have to do it. That's why I was more relaxed when I was in a ring. And then even because I'm working around the people, I remember like after I did my entrance during the commercial, few people on the side say, "It's the tree," people from Tampa. Yeah, I used to work in Tampa too for a few shows. So maybe a lot of fans, it was in the crowd recognized me. And I said, "It's the tree." So like, okay, so someone knows me already. So it made me less nervous. And yeah, but after that, it was amazing. It was not that hard. It was easy. Of course, these experiences with WWE helped me even later when I work now with AW, because you already have certain experience with the same level. So even my first match with AW, I wasn't nervous at all.
Okay. Yeah, because you believe, you have more confidence in yourself. You can do it, and yeah.
It's the same example when you go to school and the teacher that day call you and say like, "Oh, we have a test and you have to do it." If you study the day before, you're not nervous. You study already, you know everything. There's nothing that you can be nervous. But if you didn't study, of course you're nervous because you don't know the answer. So in wrestling, it's the same thing. It's even if you're nervous, then you have to start to realize that if you train properly and very well, it's nothing different. A bump is a bump. A bump is in front of your Hulk Hogan or in front of your mother. It's the same bump. It's nothing that you have to be afraid. It's the same if you go to the bicycle. If you know how to ride, you know how to ride. It doesn't matter if Madison Square Garden or the park under your house. It doesn't matter. You have to think about the same, and that's help you to relax and calm down because if you're nervous, sometimes you can make more mistakes.
Of course, you're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah, just be you. So the great advice from Rey Mysterio, he told me like, "You're from Rome. I explained my story and everything," and he told me that what makes Eddie Guerrero unique, and nobody will be like Eddie Guerrero before, because Eddie Guerrero was unique, was him. So he told me like, be you when you go there. If they likes you, they don't like you, just be you. And that's the same advice that I give to other guys. Just show who you are, express who you are. And then of course in life, it's always someone that doesn't like your job or doesn't like who you are. It's a part of the life. It's impossible to be loved by everybody. it's impossible. So just be you. If they like your job, good. If they don't like it, you were yourself. So.
And once again, you said the Alpha made the call for the WWE shot. He's not gonna call them if he's not sure about you, because he's not gonna fuck up his name if he's not sure about you. So you were there because you deserve to be there, and that's another thing that can help you to say, hey, I don't want to underestimate, like I don't want to go like, hey, I know everything or shit like that, but like if I'm here for a reason, so let's do it.
No, I always thank Alpha for that, because after the few months that I trained with him, he told me, "You great talent." So he pushed with WWE to like try this guy, try this guy, try this guy, and they try me. So I have to say thank you to Alpha, because he believed and supported me since I met him immediately. So that's something you have to remember. The people that help you during the path that you do in your life. It doesn't matter what kind of career you do, because by yourself you're not able to do anything in this life. You always need to be surrendered or be around people that support and believe in who you are, or understand maybe before other people what kind of potential you have.
Exactly. So we have now the last part, which is because we're already done here. So let's talk about a little bit about All Elite Wrestling, just to finish this interview with you. Just whatever you want to say about All Elite. I don't want to go too much in the details. I just want to ask you how you feel being there, and I have one last question there. Answered this before, and then last question is gonna be more about the next future, but just at first, how was to be there, or to still going there, how it is, how do you feel?
Okay, I started working with them in August of last year, so 2020. Now we're in March or April, so it's around a few months that I'm working with them. And since the day first, I always felt that everybody helps you. The atmosphere is like a paradise. So everything is really, I don't want to say perfect, because nothing is perfect in life, but everybody is really helpful, help you so much. They treat you like a pro wrestlers. It doesn't have a specific difference between superstars and us. So that's another thing that I really appreciate. And it's nothing that you can complain. It's a happy place. It's a really happy place, and I'm happy to be there. And I really love even the atmosphere. Tony Khan, everybody, really everybody, are great over there. And I don't have to say that because I work with them, because of what I think. Even if one day they don't call me no more, it's what I think. And another great feeling that, of course, make my country proud, even in AW. So that's give you a 10% more, because you're not by yourself. You're representing a country. So it's definitely something that you have to work good. And to be the first Italian work with AW too, it's a small success that you can have it. It doesn't matter that much, but a little bit, because thinking about that, I start in Rome with nothing, with nobody, and then be the first Italian worker with WWE and AW, be the first one, and now with the AW, it definitely make myself proud. And the only project that I have for the future is still doing what I love and still do the best that I can do, and I don't close any doors, and I'm pretty open with everything, with every kind of experience. If they treat me very well, and if I see that a worth to go in certain place, for me, a name of promotion is just a name. I don't close any doors. Tomorrow morning I can go to Japan, I can go to Mexico, or in Europe again. The only goal that I have, plus, except my personal career, if to open a university of wrestling, that's how I call it, in my country, to explain really how wrestling it is. It's not just an academy, it's not a school, but it's a university. So really like a university of wrestling, study in every single details, in every single aspects, how wrestling works. That's my really big dream one day. So to give the chance to the new generation, new people, to don't do the same path that I had to do it. So sacrifice everything because you don't have any option. If you want to leave our country or if you want to make for yourself, have to be an option, not an obligation, and that's different. Same with other sports. If you do soccer, you have soccer in our country, in Spain, in England, and in every single country. So we need the rights to start wrestling in our country and do it professional in our way. And then if you want to make another experience, if you want to do it, is an option. That's my big dreams. Because I don't want people left everything and miss cities, family, friends, just to follow a dream.
That's the same thing I did here with my academy, because when I first started, there was nothing here, so I want to give them the dream that I didn't have, because to me, I never had the dream to become like a WWE superstar, because for me it was impossible, because I grew up with the idea that I will never even see a live event. To me, wrestling was like something absolutely not even think about it. So if I had somebody like myself back in those days that was training here in Switzerland and having good shows, I could say, hey, this guy is from the same time I'm from. If he made it like, okay, he's at this level, but if he became a wrestler, then I can become a wrestler myself, and then maybe go to the next step and make it to the WWE. So it's always important to give it back to pro wrestling and to the next generation. So the very last question is, if you can answer, what is your contract situation with All Elite? Because it's like, are you gonna sign with them? Are you like, how does it work? Are you going there just for shows? Sometimes they call you, or you are close to have a good deal, like maybe a year contract, stuff like that. Is it something that is, you see it, that it's coming, could be?
No, it's about signing or stuff like that. I don't know anything yet. So if they want to sign me or not, I don't have an idea. It's something that you're gonna talk with them later in the future. I hope so. Of course, it's a goal. If I work there, of course, I have to do my best to sign. Absolutely, yes. But no, for now, no. For now, I don't have any obligation or limitation to work just with them. I can work with everybody. And for now, every single time I go there, they just pay me the day that I work, or it depends. You sign a contract, but for a limited period. So if you work like, I don't know, you have to do like 3 tapings. You sign a contract for 3 tapings, and you have to do a certain match for that kind of tapings. But then you can work with everybody's now obligation and no limitation for now. Of course, the goal is to sign, but I'm pretty honest with the people. Like, you will know immediately if I sign, because I don't keep any secrets or nothing like that. I want to be honest with people. I'm pretty honest with in general, with fans, with everybody, because I like when the people is honest with me, and I want to show them what wrestling it is for real. We know lies or nothing like that. So if you pick this career, because wrestling is like this. If you like it, you in. If you don't like it, no. That's why we have to be honest with fans.
I was thinking, if you're gonna sign, are you gonna keep your name D3, or are you gonna, like, because if I was the promoter, if I was Tony, what I will do with you is to, beside your talent and in the ring, I will use you as much as possible to get more people watching from Italy. And one of the things that I will do with you is to have you use an Italian name. I mean, of course, D3 means Daniele Dentice, but I some name that
is my real name.
Yeah, of course. Name. But what I mean is like that even in the ring they call you, let's say Daniele, for example. So who's watching from home is not like D3, but you are okay. D3 is from Italy, but if they say Daniele, it's like, oh, wait a second, these guys must be from Italy. So I don't know. It's just a business thought that I had, and
you would definitely see it immediately after I step in a not even on a ring. So after the Titan throne, that I'm Italian. For how I look, for my gear, I have a big tattoos on my chest that say Roma. So it's and D3. I say D3 because they don't know how to pronounce my name. If they were able to pronounce my full name, I would love to use my real last name because it's unique. I have two last names. There's a hyphenated last name because my family used to have, not royal, but a noble heritage,
okay.
and from the Roman Empire. So my last name exists from the Roman Empire, and we're not rich, unfortunately, but they didn't give us anything. But that's make me proud because when you take Dentice d'Accadia, it just me and my family exist. It doesn't exist anybody that is not related with my family. So it's not that kind of last name that you can have thousand of, I don't know, or Rodriguez or thousand of that because it already exists. That's make me more proud if they were able one day to ask me, would you like to, I would like to keep my name D3, but I would love to be introduced or even down with my full name.
Full name somewhere. Yeah. I
Because
was thinking.
but they're not able to pronounce that.
Yeah.
So
But
that's why D3 is my real one, and it's
I understand, but
easy
my
to.
thinking was more from a commercial standpoint. Like Santino Marella. It's a fake name, but it works for from a business standpoint. That's what I was talking about. That maybe they say they ask you to have a different name that could commercially
No, because
work.
in my case, people already know me like that. People in my country, if they wanna have a name that match for our country, or let them watch more wrestling, all the wrestling fans and all the people over there already know me, who I am. So as a D3, so the name can work if your kind of idea works. If you want to sell my name for people that not Italian and let them understand that I'm Italian. But the Italians, they already know that D3 is Italian immediately. Everybody knows. Everybody watch wrestling with Sky, they know that I'm Italian immediately. Maybe people, that's why my full gimmick name is Prince of Rome D3. It's not just D3. That's why they mentioned that on AW, because my full name technically is Prince of Rome D3. Even on a card, on the posters, I never say just D3. But yeah, that's something like really specific. If I always say that, let me sign first, and then if they propose me, do you want to change a name? Just give me a few names. If they want to, I would like to keep mine. But of course, if they want to sign you, and you have to change your name. Name is a name. Of course, it doesn't matter. Same with WWE. If they want to change your name, you change your name. But I think name, it doesn't matter pretty much. Even in if you see like big names or big stars, name, it doesn't matter. It matters the person, the characters, the gimmick, who we identify the names sometimes. Because there's so many names that if you think about it, you can say like, oh, it doesn't work because it already exists, and then they became famous, or they signed. Think about Lee Johnson, for example. Johnson is already Rocky Johnson, so but it doesn't matter because you identify the person behind it. Even the Young Bucks, I tell you something else. Young Bucks was a singer, a rapper from G Unit, so his name already exists. Not because it already exists as a rapper, you don't have to call yourself Young Bucks. They're more famous now than the rapper. So see, sometimes it's the identify behind the name and not just the name. Because it makes you curious why D3, and then you say, oh, because it's the real name, that's why. And he has the story about the last name, hyphenated last name. I have to specify every time I sign a contract, between parentheses, hyphenated last name, because I don't have a middle name, nothing like that.
Okay. Great. So thank you very much for your time here today at the European Wrestling Podcast. I can't wait, to finish the editing of this video. It was great talking with you. I'm very proud of what you have done for your country, and I think your career is gonna last for long because you're doing everything that it takes. You got trained well. You are somebody who knows how to learn, knows how to listen, and that's why you had the chance that you had to Monday Night Raw, All Elite. You own those spots, and you deserve to be there. And with that said, I wish you the best for your career, for your life there in the United States. And just thank you very much. And if there's one last thing that you wanna say to the fans watching, the last couple of minutes is all yours. So go ahead.
First of all, thank you for the space, because without people like you that give us the space, is no us, pretty much. And without people listen us, no us. That's the first thing. And no, it's nothing that I want to say. Just maybe to the new generation, the kid, but it can be for everybody. Just believe in what you want to do. Sometimes we listen too much. People from outside or society, they want to influence us. At the end of the day, the goal is to be happy. So it doesn't matter how. It doesn't exist any formula for everybody. It's everybody have a specific formula that works just for him, so just for you. So if that kind of things make you happy, just follow that kind of instinct and do it. It maybe they don't like it, they like it, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what matters is that you happy for what you do. It doesn't matter what you will be one day, or if you can success or not. If make you happy every single day, that's the goal, pretty much.
Awesome. So thank you, guys. You will find all the links to D3, Facebook, Instagram, anything that is out there.
Merchandise.
Merchandise. Everything is you will find belong here. The links. So please keep supporting indie wrestling. Please keep following D3 in his journey to professional wrestling. Thanks everybody. I'll see you next episode. Thank you. Bye bye. Ciao, grazie.
Thank you. Bye. Grazie a te, Luca.